Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Li-Ning Wow 10. So Dwyane Wade's 10th signature shoe with Li-Ning. This shoe is going for a whopping $225, which is pretty damn expensive. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. So I have the Blossom colorway right here, and this is the Sunrise colorway, right? I mean, this shoe looks absolutely amazing. But anyways, let's get it started off with the tracciones. In both of these colorways, we have pretty much like a herringbone traction pattern, right? So here in the forefoot, it's pretty much herringbone, and then here in the midfoot, it kind of like circles out from this like carbon fiber circles. And so I have two colorways here, obviously, right? So here in the Blossom color, we have, it's more like a solid rubber outsole, but you can kind of see through it, which is kind of weird, right? And then here in the Sunrise colorway, it's semi-translucent. It's a lot easier to see the carbon fiber midfoot chain plate, right? And I've been playing in both of these shoes, and they both perform pretty well. So if you're playing on a clean court, it has a solid bite. I wouldn't say it's top tier though. So top tier traction would be like the Curry 9, PG6, the Zoom Separate, the Harden Volume 6, stuff like that. I made an entire video on that. So I wouldn't say it's quite top tier, but it is a solid traction pattern. Also, you need to break it in a little bit, right? So for the first couple of days, it wasn't like super good. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as it is right now, you know, after it's broken in. As far as performance on dust, it does pick up dust, like it picks it up pretty quickly, but it is a very easy wipe. So it's a very easy slight wipe or two, and you're good to go. So it wasn't a huge issue. So if you don't mind wiping, then you're gonna be good to go. Also, another good thing is that if dust does like get clogged up here on the outsole, it's not dangerous. You don't slide out dangerously really at all. So that's a good thing, but it does pick up dust, so you're gonna have to wipe on it. So just be careful on that. Also, if you're gonna play on an outdoor court, probably not the best option. I mean, it did surprise me a little bit. You know, Li-Ning or just Chinese companies in general, they make very durable outsoles for their demographic, but feeling both of these outsoles, the rubber is actually pretty damn soft. I mean, I guess you do have a lot of grooves, so a lot of surface area, which is a good thing, but overall, the grooves are kind of thin, right? They're pretty damn thin and the rubber's soft, so I don't think outdoor use is going to be the best option. Also, it's a very expensive shoe, right? So I probably wouldn't recommend playing on an outdoor court. I don't think it'll be terrible though, but it won't be the best option. So as far as the traction performance goes, it was nice. It was a solid traction. It's just not top tier. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition, right? So I really liked it, right? So here in the heel, we have a very nice rounded shape, and this actual cage, although it looks really stiff because it is like a rubber cage, it's actually pretty damn soft. So we have nice heel compression. So it's pretty damn smooth here in the heel. And then in the forefoot, we have a very nice curve shape and a good amount of forefoot flex. But also, like I mentioned before, we have a carbon fiber midfoot chain plate, and we can see it a lot easier here in this Sunrise colorway. And it pretty much goes all the way here into the forefoot, right? So carbon fiber is a very hard material. It doesn't bend at all. It's super strong as well. So it did surprise me because it does flex, right? As you guys can see. But this flex actually feels really nice, right? So when you're doing heel dominant strides, you also have pretty good bounce from the cushion, which I like. It's rounded as well, so that feels very smooth. But when you're kind of like going off of your forefoot, this kind of bends a little bit, right, with the carbon fiber, and propels you forward. So when I was doing heel dominant strides down the court, it felt absolutely amazing. So contrary to what I thought that this shoe would feel like when I first saw it, actually playing in it is actually very nice for heel to toe transition. And also, cushion is absolutely amazing, guys, right? So we have full length Boom cushion, which is amazing. So Boom is kind of like Li-Ning's proprietary blend. It looks like Boost, right? It's actually not really exposed in this shoe, so you can't really see it because of this cage. But like I mentioned before, this cage is actually very soft, so we do have a little bit of heel compression. But also, one thing that I absolutely love that they did, which I think they need to do in every single shoe that's out, is a strobo board, right? So just mentioning, I guess, like the insole. The insole is actually a pretty nice insole. It doesn't feel like foam. It's more of like an elastic material. So it feels a little bit more reboundy instead of like soft, if you guys know what I mean, right? But looking underneath the insole, we have like a mesh strobo board, right? And this strobo board is so soft, and the step-in comfort is absolutely amazing, right? So right when you put on the shoe, you can feel the Boom cushion right underneath the foot. It's soft, there's nice compression, and Boom is very bouncy, right? So you have really nice rebound back. So when you're running down the court, when you're doing like step backs, your jump shots, it has great impact protection. It's comfortable. It's not too soft either. I mean, you have really good court feel, right? I mean, they did cage. I feel like this cage is a really good idea just because Boom is really soft, right? And I feel like if they didn't cage it, it would have been a little unstable. So that definitely does make sense. And I really like how they made the cage a lot softer, like a softer like plastic or rubber type of material for the cage. So that feels great as well. One thing that I did notice a little bit though is on hard impacts, you're gonna feel the cushion bottom out a little bit, right? So the Boom is quite thin, right? Like I said, the court feel is good. So when you're doing really hard impacts, your foot is gonna bottom out the cushion just a tiny bit, and it's gonna hit the floor and it's gonna hurt just a little bit. That's just something that I noticed. So do be careful on that. But if you're doing like, I guess just regular landings, just for impacts, it's really, really good. Just not the best for hard impacts. But overall, it felt amazing, right? So you have nice bounce, it's comfortable, nice compression, really good court feel, and also really good responsiveness. So yeah, out of all the cushioning setups right now, this has to be one of my favorites, right? And I definitely feel like it's an everyday cushioning setup for me. Like for example, you know, in like the KD 15 or the Jordan 36 with the full length Zoom strobe in it, it's crazy. It's a lot. It's really bouncy. You get a lot of compression right underneath your foot, which feels very nice most of the time. But for some reason, sometimes I don't really feel like playing it. You know what I mean? Especially if I want something a little bit more responsive. So that's why I play like the Curry 9 or PG6 and I switch it up sometimes, right? But the Wow 10 blends all of that really, really well. You get the really nice bounce, kind of like in the Zoom. Obviously, it's not as bouncy as Zoom, but you still get nice bounce. You get really good step-in comfort, but also you get really good responsiveness and court feel. So yeah, this cushioning setup is absolutely amazing. All right, moving on to the material. So here in the toe box, we have like a mesh material. I mean, it's a $225 shoe, so it's probably not the best for quality, but it doesn't feel cheap really at all. I mean, it feels nice and quality. And then here in this blossom color, we have 3M for the fuse here. And obviously this will be good for toe drags and durability. Here in the Sunrise, it's not 3M, which is, that kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. And then coming here into the midfoot, it stays like a mesh material, but like around here for the first couple of eyelets, it's more like a textile material. And then where the eyelets are, we have like a leather material, right? And that definitely does reinforce this material to make it a lot more supportive here in the midfoot, but also it's still really soft and minimal. And then here for the tongue, we have an oversized tongue, which I like. Not a whole lot of padding. I mean, there's a little bit of padding here on top of the tongue. It's more like targeted, and also there's some targeted padding here as well. But it's more like a very open mesh on the bottom of the tongue here, so there's very good ventilation, and it is a half booty construction upper. So you have an overall better one-to-one fit. And here in the ankle area, we have some pretty nice padding, you know, like on top of the ankle area right here, we have very nice padding. It feels super nice and cozy. So here in the forefoot and midfoot, it feels really minimal, but also conforms to your foot very well. And then here in the back of the heel, it feels very nice and cozy, right? So I really liked how it felt overall on foot. It felt really supportive too, where it needed to be supportive. So yeah, it's a great overall material. Probably not the best for like a $225 shoe. I mean, as far as like, you know, I probably would have preferred like a very nice knit, or I don't know, some like, I guess like this leather material is pretty damn nice, but I mean, mesh, probably not the best, right? All right, moving on to the fit. So Li-Ning sent me this shoe, right? And on their site, they recommend to go up half a size. So they gave me a half size up, and overall, it felt pretty good, right? So I mean, like there is a little bit of length, but it is quite snug here in the toe box, and it's a pretty narrow fit. I wouldn't say it's super narrow. So overall, I didn't really mind the fit all too much, but if you have a skinny foot and you want a really, really snug fit, you should probably go true to size. But if you want to be a little bit more careful and you don't want like a super snug fit, probably go up half a size, just because it is still a snug fit and it's just a little bit long for me. So going up half a size still was pretty good for me. It's just, I like to have a really snug fit in my ball shoes. So I feel like if I went true to size, it would have been good, right? But for most people, I would probably suggest going up half a size. If you have a wide foot or you want a roomier fit, probably go up a full size because it is a very, very snug fit. All right, moving on to the support and lockdown, absolutely zero issues, right? So, I mean, Dwyane Wade, like all the shoes that I've played in, like from his line, have been amazing for support, right? So lateral containment, as you guys can see, although this is like I keep saying, this is like a softer type of plastic, it does come up to act as a sidewall. I mean, it is like, look at that, it's bending a little bit, but that does help to contain you for lateral containment. And also here, this is actually carbon fiber, if you guys can see the logo right here. And then also it comes up to act as a sidewall here as well in the heel, and there is an internal TPU heel counter, so lateral containment, I was good to go. And also, even if you're a bigger dude, you should be fine. This shoe is super supportive. Also, lateral stability was great. You know, it's not like a crazy outrigger, but the midsole and outsole does protrude out here. So we do have a wide base here in the forefoot. And I guess this is more like a, what is this, like a mid? But ankle support wasn't the best. I mean, it's not the flimsiest feeling material, but I still had pretty good ankle mobility. And yeah, just kind of felt like I was playing in a low top, to be honest, even though this material does cover the ankle bone a little bit. So if you're looking for ankle support, not the best, but support in lockdown, it felt amazing. I had zero issues with heel slippage. The fit was great for me, and my foot felt locked down into the shoe. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. This shoe is super light, and it's one of the lightest shoes in his entire line. And if I remember correctly, it was like, yeah, so 11.64 ounces. Let's check the other colorway actually. 11.71 ounces. So that's actually very light. You know, the average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. And does this shoe feel light? Yes, it feels extremely light. It feels very responsive and minimal, which I absolutely love. But then shoes that feel like this usually don't have good cushion. You know what I mean? Like the Giannis Immortality, the Precision 6. This shoe, however, has amazing cushion. So I really like what they did here. They kept it super minimal and lightweight, but also very supportive. And it's just a really fun shoe to play in, really responsive as well. So yeah, I feel like if you want a quick feeling shoe in your guard, then this is a great option. Also, if you're a bigger dude, I feel like this will be very, very good. It has good cushion and really, really good support, right? All right, moving on to the ventilation. Ventilation is amazing. You know, like I said, this mesh, you have some airflow through it. Actually a good amount of airflow, and it's pretty damn thin. So ventilation is very good. And as far as aesthetics go, I love it. You know, it looks amazing. I really love what they're doing with the gradient here as well. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, this shoe is almost near perfect. I wish the traction was just a tiny bit better so that it could be a top tier for traction, but still wasn't a huge deal because it's still really, really good, right? So yeah, this shoe is 100% going to be in my rotation. I absolutely love the cushioning setup. I would even say it's one of my favorite cushioning setups right now. I can't really think of anything else that I like more. Like the PG6 is nice, but I like the WOW 10 better. Zion 2 was nice, but I like the WOW 10 better. It's just the strobo board. Whatever they did with the strobo board, they got to do it in all their shoes. You know what I mean? Like I said, hardens are still nice, but I feel like these are bouncier and softer. And stepping comfort is also a little bit more comfortable in the WOW 10 as well. And like I said, you know, the Jordan 36 with the full-length zoom strobo, and like the KD15, it's a little too much for me sometimes. So yeah, I absolutely love playing in this shoe, and I recommend this shoe to pretty much anyone. I feel like pretty much all play styles and whatever position you play, you will enjoy this shoe. So yeah, I mean, I can't really find any other complaints besides the traction not being top tier, even though it's still nice, right? So anyways, that about concludes my performance review of the Li-Ning Wow 10. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.